Hey Book Dragons, I'm back. I'm here today to do a very exciting video, which I don't think I've ever done on my channel, but everyone and their mother has been talking about our fantasy bingo, and I have watched a lot of people's videos, and what I think I could bring a little bit differently to this conversation is how I'm gonna fill out my our fantasy bingo, because I read a lot of YA, I read a lot of like middle grades, so I just think it would sort of be fun to kind of see what my takes would be, and then at the end of the year kind of actually do a thing of like what I actually read. So yeah, let's get into it. If you don't know what our fantasy bingo is, it's on Reddit. I'm never on Reddit, be honestly, so I'm probably gonna replace that square at that very end with something, but I just kind of go through my shelves and kind of pick books that I think would fit. And stuff can change, and if I remember the hard mode, I will mention it and see if it does like fit the hard mode, but I'm just literally going to do, so there's a hard mode and there's a hero mode, and then there's like just a plain mode. I'm gonna do hero mode because everything I reviewed gets reviewed somewhere, and I'm gonna try to do easy mode, and if some of my books work for hard mode, I will try to do it. Like some of them I know I'm gonna do hard mode just because they're just easier, but we will see. So the first thing is a first in a series. I will attach the bingo card like every line so you guys can follow along. So here's the bingo card if you haven't seen it. And the first line is read the first book in a series. And if you're doing hard mode, I think it's like 5 books in a series, which if I actually read something this year that's a 5-book series, I'll definitely pick it up. But I think I'm going to do Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. It's been high on my TBR. It is, like, it's really good. I've heard such incredible things. Just the size of it has a little bit intimidated me, but this is on it. The next square is alliteration in the title, which I think you're supposed to do for hard mode 3 words in the title that have the same letter, but I'm going to do Sisters of the Sake by Serena and Sasha New Moon, and this is 2 sisters, but I think like they're identical, but like they don't know that they're identical, and they have to kind of, one is a thief and one is a princess. Their 2 lives collide because Raymond's are orphans, princesses, and unmistakably identical. To save their home, a thief and a royal must work together or watch it all fall to ruin. So they have to switch places for less than a moon times and locate a long-lost mythical object. So I haven't read this book clearly, but it was an Owl Crate edition back in the day. I think this came out quite a bit ago. Yeah, it came out in 2021. But I want to read it, and it does have 2 S's, so it does count. Yeah, I'm excited for this one. A next pick is Under the Surface, which just means you have to read a book that's like under the surface for like, I think the hard mode is like 50%, and under the surface could mean underground, or it could also mean like in the caves. So I'm gonna choose Somewhere in the Deep by Taji Barwin, and I think that they're like, they have to fight monstrous creatures in an underground fighting pit, but the fight goes terribly long. She's banned from it, and then someone has to become a bodyguard. I'm not gonna say too much about the summaries because honestly I don't know, but it looks like it's also underwater, so I'm intrigued by this one. But the little blurb says, from the author of Monsters Born and Made comes an action-packed South Asian immigrant that will keep your heart racing at every turn. Yeah, so this one I'm really excited about. This cover is also really pretty. Yeah, I'm just trying to put my books in order. That is the problem next. And then the next book is Criminals. So I'm actually really excited for this one, and I did get the art, like the indie copy, so I'm gonna read Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. I will probably read this book twice this year if I love it, but there is a heist. It does have dragons in it, and I think it's pitched like this queen attaches 3 dragons to this young girl when she's born, and then the dragons are taken away from her, and she has to kind of work with her like nemesis to kind of get them back. This is the indie book. The indie book went away, and I just was lucky enough to get a restock, but I'm so excited for it. So this one sounds really great, and I really hope to read it soon, but again, quite junky. And the next prompt is Dreams, and I think the hard mode is like a book that has like actual like regular dreams in it, but I'm just going to do easy mode because I want to read The Dream Runners by Shabaka the Thakkar, the same author as the Star Daughter, and this does has mythical dreams in it, but it's a book that I've had for a couple of years. I actually went to the event and I got it signed. Really want to read it. This cover is also so pretty, and I am obsessed with dreams. I always think dreams are like so interesting. So that'll be that for that. Now next row we're gonna do Entitled Animals. I literally just got this, but I'm gonna read Dragon Fruit by Massia Lucifer, and this, you know, the hard mode is you have to do like a mystical animal, which I'm super excited for. Every wish demands a price. In the old tales, it is written that the egg of a sea dragon, dragon fruit, holds within it the power to undo a person's greatest sorrow. But as with all things that offer hope, that when hope has gone wrong, its tale comes with a warning. Every wish demands a price. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one. This cover is so pretty. It was on my to read soon list, so I definitely want to do that. And then the next one is a bard. So, and hard mode, which this actually does fit, is he has to be named a bard. Like the character can't just be like a bard, it has to be named one. People were finding that hard. I will say this duology, Jack is a bard. So if you're looking for hard mode, this does fit it, but this is a sequel that I've been really wanting to read, and he is called a bard. So I'm really excited for this because I got this for a present from my friend Tiffany for Christmas. So I really liked A River Enchanted as well. And then the next book is Read a Book that both has a prologue and an epilogue. I'm not going to stress myself out over trying to find one that has both. So I'm going to read Greenwild. It is a middle grade by Perry Thomas. It does have a prologue, I think. And this just kind of gives me Secret Garden vibes. I don't really want to read too much in it. It gives me spring vibes. I may read it soon. But yeah, this is one that I'm going to tentatively put on this TBR. And the next book is Read a Book that is self-pub or indie published. I'm gonna put City of Mages on here by Christian Michela and A.G. Cerna because I heard about this last year during last year's Spiffball. I bought it and then I just never got around to it, but I want to read it. And it is YA. I think it has fire mages in it, which, oh my god, I just finished watching Avatar and I'm like obsessed. So I want to read something with that vibes, and I like this cover. I know that Mel from Eleanor Reed said that if you like a YA, you'll like it, so I'm excited. And then the last book in that row is Romantasy, and I'm gonna pick up a book that everyone is hyped for, and that is A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. This is my Fairy Loot edition. I got some artwork, and it's Vikings. A woman blessed by the gods battle to unite a nation under a power-hungry king, while also fighting the growing desire for his fiery son. Ooh, and this Norse-inspired fantasy romance for the best-selling author of The Bridge Kingdom. Oh my god. Stunning. So I'm really excited for this one. This one just came in the mail, so I really do want to read it. So those are for the first two rows. Now what I'm going to go do is I'm going to go find the books for the next two rows, and then we will chat about it. Hi Book Dragons, I'm back. Sorry, I took a little bit of a break to like get the books. I'll be honest, I have a lot for the next two rows, and then the end two rows I don't have a ton for, so I'm gonna let myself mood read those like as the year goes on. If I did not mention, this challenge ends next March, so I am just gonna kind of be on the hunt for some of these. Some of these are a little bit challenging, I will be honest, so if you have any recommendations, I will say some books that like I don't really have a prompt for yet, and you can maybe give me one. So the first one is Dark Academia, and the hard mode is to do something basic like a mundane school. I don't have a ton of things, so I think I'm gonna do Curious Tides by Pascal Lascelles. This is a Dark Academia book. I've wanted to read it and I just didn't get around to it, so I'm gonna toss it on this TBR and hopefully it gets read. A next book is a space opera. Four Paws on a Book really wants me to read Ashes of the Sun, so I'm gonna add this to here. And I said it was like gay Star Wars. I was, oh my god, I didn't put my thing on. I was totally here for that, so I'm really excited for that as well. And this will be on my TBR. I'm just supposed to read it this month. We'll see if it actually happens. And then the next is read a book with multiple point of views. I'm gonna attach a photo because it's not out yet. It's supposed to come out in September. If it gets pushed, Amy Kaufman, me and you are gonna have beef. It's supposed to come out in July, but it's going to be Heart of the World by Amy Kaufman. It's the second book in the Isles of the Gods duology. I will attach a photo here. Isles of the Gods was one of my favorite books of 2023, my favorite book of all time, so I'm really excited for the sequel. And to go with that, the next prompt is read a book published in 2024, and I'm going to do Firebirds by Kate J. Armstrong. That is the sequel to Nightbirds, which I also really, really loved. That comes out in July if it doesn't get pushed. So those two books I'm going to put for these squares. They probably won't do hard mode for either of them, but I'm just really excited to read them, and I know I will read them the second they come out. And then read a character with a book with a disability. I'm going to tentatively put Onyx Storm here by Rebecca Yarros. It comes out in January. I'm going to read it. I actually want to make it my mission to reread Iron Flame and Fourth Wing this year. So if that happens, I may just do that as my reread. Also, the rule is you can't do like an author twice, which I don't think I have any authors twice. So Rebecca Yarros might get picked for that square regardless. It may just not be for Onyx Storm. And then a book that has survival, like the goal is just to survive, and I'm gonna put The Invocators by Crystal Sutherland. I got this at ALA, and not ALA, I got this at Y'all Fest, and it's so wet. I might actually see if I can find like a better copy than this one. I might look on Pango and see, because I have so much money on Pango, and this book is gonna be harder to read because it's a little bit water damaged, but this is a witchy thriller, and I'm really excited for it. And then the next book, oh, did I go out of order? I did go out of order, sorry. All right, characters with a disability, we're still there. Sorry, I got myself out of order. The next one is read a book by an author that was started publishing in the 90s and is still publishing. So I'm gonna read Nora Roberts' The Awakening. This is her foray into fantasy, and I have read some stuff by Nora Roberts, but she's literally been published since the 80s, and she's been publishing every year since. So this is perfect. This is her fantasy debut, and I really, really wanted to read it. Yeah. Our Orcs, Trolls, Goblins, Oh My, and it has to be a book that has a goblin as a main character. So I am going to pick up The Goblin Wood by Hilaria Bell, and this is about a young hedge witch who winds up going to this goblin forest. I got this when I went to Chicago, Illinois, and I just think it's like a really, really pretty cover, so I want to read it. It's very, very short too, so it may be perfect for this challenge. Space opera. Oh my god, I was like so out of sorts. Space opera. I'm going to read Ashes of the Sun by Django Wexler. 4 paws in a book. I think I just was out of sorts, so don't mind me. I'm going to do the proper order. Ooh, and then an author of color. I'm going to read Cameron Bach, The Battle of the Hidden Kingdoms. I remember it was so sad. This author had like an event and no one came to it. And his, he like posted on Twitter when Twitter was still a thing. Like, oh, if, no one wound up coming to my event for whatever reason, but I will personalize all your books if you order them, and we completely sold him out. So that is why I have a copy of this. It's personalized to me, which means I probably, oh no, it's not actually perfectly. But I can probably put it in my classroom when I'm done with it. They'll get a kick out of that. And it's author of color. I don't remember what hard mode is. Oh, and then survival we chatted about. I'm going to do The Invocators. I'm going to try to see on Pango if I can get a better copy. This was an ARC that I got. Judge a book by its cover is just go into a bookstore hard mode and just pick a book solely on its cover. So I'm going to do that. I just haven't been to a bookstore. A book set in a small town is the next prompt. This is the last line, the line that I said that my prompts are not as fleshed out. I'm just going to pick up something on KU that has like a small town cozy setting. I don't know what it is. I have a lot on my TBR. I have a lot on KU. It's really only why I have KU. So yeah, that was one. I'll just pick a random one off KU after I read it. 5 short stories. I struggle really struggle with short story collections. So I'm going to have some recommendations in the comments for this one because I'm so bad at reading short stories. But also, like, tell me a good one because I really don't like short stories. Eldritch Creatures, I'm going to have to do a bit more research and see what other people were doing because I don't know. I think it's like an elf. So I have to find a book that has an elf. Maybe I could find a fantasy romance with an elf. Reference materials, I'm just gonna pick something that has a map or like something in it. I may do, I don't know if The Wishing Game, which I'm reading now, would count because it does have it, but it's not really fantasy. I'm gonna have to finish that book and kind of report back, but yeah, that's easy. A lot of my books have maps in them, so, and I really don't care about hard mode. Hard mode is you have to have multiple of that. Oh, and then the last one was like do a Reddit read along. I'm probably not gonna do a Reddit read along. I'm just gonna change it to a YA book because that was a prompt someone else pulled. So I'm probably gonna pick up some YA book that I read this year. If I had to say, I would probably say Fireborn by Rosaria Munda because that's a reread for me. But yeah, let me know in the comments. I think that this was so fun. I just literally watched like 9 videos and a lot of people like were choosing the same exact thing. So I just wanted to add my opinion to the world and see what people thought. And yeah, definitely hold me accountable. If you have any recommendations for that final row, I would love to hear them, and I will talk to you guys soon.